This is the Valley's original morning magazine show, ABC 15's Sonoran Living Live.
Well, you might have heard about recent discussions between prominent dermatologists and experts, so-called experts on vitamin D. The crucial vitamin that, by the way, is obtained in part by your exposure to UV sunlight. Well, today, Dr. Jennifer Lindner is here to clear up some information or perhaps even misinformation. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
So, how much are we supposed to get in terms of sun on our skin on a daily basis?
So, the reality is, as a dermatologist, I want you to get no sun or limited sun.
Okay.
But what we have determined is to get your maximum dose that you possibly can get of vitamin D in a day, what your skin is capable of, it's 1/3 of what it takes for your skin to turn just a little bit pink. So for me, 5 minutes. And that's even with sunscreen on.
Even with sunscreen, that's the key. Okay, so how do you determine? Obviously, I would assume that darker complexions, I'm a little bit darker than you, I would need more than 5 minutes.
Right.
But probably not an hour.
Exactly. And the reality is, just even walking to and from your car is more than enough. And even more importantly, it actually probably takes a little oral supplement to get to the levels that actually get the maximum benefits that we're starting to see talked about in the news.
Let's get to what we're seeing talked about on the news, because a lot of people are hearing, hey, you need more vitamin D, it boosts this and that. And let's talk about what they're saying and then kind of address it from a dermatologist's perspective.
There's been some really fantastic studies that have come out recently that have shown that vitamin D can be beneficial for dementia, depression, diabetes, and even more importantly for some cancers. Breast cancer, colon cancer, prostate cancer.
Okay.
So we now know that really everybody should get more vitamin D. The reality is, though, you might not be able to get what you need from the sun. There's this really interesting study that we refer to as the Surfer Dude study, where they did a study on surfers in Hawaii, and actually only 50% of them, even though they were totally, completely tan, surf every day, had high enough levels to get the benefits that we're now seeing in these new studies.
So supplementation sounds like it would have to be
the key.
The key.
So what I recommend for my patients is that I take 1,000 international units a day. That's actually what I personally take. When you look at the back of foods where it lists the nutrition, what the RDA was originally recommending was 200 international units for an adult. So that's enough to keep you from getting a deficiency, which is called rickets, which is soft, brittle bones. But if you want to get all those wonderful benefits, you need to get up to about 1,000 international units.
Now, do we get any, how many, let's say we spend 5, 10, 15 minutes in the sun, we go for a walk, we do whatever. How many IUs is that?
Well, it depends on the person, because it depends on how much sun is out, how much cloud cover there is, what time of year it is, whether or not you're wearing, how much clothing you're wearing. So it's inconsistent. So in the end, I'd rather have patients know exactly that they're getting the right amount every day. So I recommend the oral supplements, and even better would be from fish. Salmon, mackerel, sardines, and luckily in the U.S. we fortify our milk and orange juice and even cereals.
Should we be concerned that we're not getting 1,000, or in most cases we're already getting 1,000?
Well, it depends on what kind of diet you have. Obviously, if you're eating a lousy diet, you're probably not getting enough. But if you eat a lot of fish and milk and orange juice, you probably are. And if you live someplace like Arizona, to be honest, just even moving around on a daily basis, we get more than enough. But if you're living in Alaska, it might be more of an issue.
So let's talk about the sunscreen component that you mentioned, because a lot of people, even though we're sitting here saying put your sunscreen on, a lot of people are going to take away from this, well, I need to be in the sun more.
No.
And then I'm going to, prevent dementia.
Right, exactly.
Sometimes the message isn't always clear unless we spell it out.
That's why it gets confusing. And the reality is, even the strongest sunscreen only protects you from 98% of the rays. So 2% are still getting through. And so cumulative over the course of the day, that's probably enough for people. And if you're really one of those extra benefits, you do need to get those food sources. And that's what that Surfer Dude study really showed us.
So what do you make of this kind of, I don't know, misconception that's now being generated about vitamin D? I mean, the good news is that people are talking about it.
Exactly.
Right?
And education is always the key. The thing that I find the most upsetting is that the tanning bed industry is telling people that they should go to tanning beds because it's good for you. The reality is that we know the tanning beds are only doing damage. Not only are they causing skin cancers, but 85% of aging is a result of UVA and UVB rays. So a tanning bed is a giant aging machine. And so I find it very upsetting that they're recommending people get exposure, which we know is going to cause skin cancer, for something that potentially could be beneficial.
Let's talk about where we can get the supplements. We don't have to go through a dermatologist. We can get them at our health food store, right?
Even your local grocery store now tends to carry very good supplements.
Final question, can you like OD on IUs of vitamin D?
It's really not possible.
No?
No.
Okay. All right. Well, good. I think I need to head down to the health food store.
It's good to eat healthy.
Absolutely. Thanks so much for coming in. It's always nice.
My pleasure.
To get in contact with Dr. Jennifer Lindner, just head to SonoraLiving.com. We put all of her information there. Of course, she can talk to you about any sort of skin problem that you're having, or if you'd like more information about vitamin D, she's provided that, and she can certainly talk to you on the phone at length if you need more information. Coming up.